They called themselves the Karzul Dominion, a ruthless alien empire that rolled across the stars like a plague. They didn't conquer with bombs or brute force. They didn't need to. Their weapons were fear. Whole civilizations crumbled without firing a single shot. The Karzul deployed psychotronic pulses, waves of psychic energy that shattered willpower and burned submission into the minds of the masses. Resistance was rare. Futile. Pointless. Worlds bent the knee. Fleets disarmed. Cities opened their gates and silenced their alarms. Until one day, a human warship stood before them. It happened on the edge of a forgotten star system, an old, half-dead colony world once called Seraphis V, abandoned by Earth over a century ago. The Karzul hadn't even expected resistance. They approached in formation, clean, cold, unstoppable. And then their long-range sensors picked up something strange. A ship. Not a fleet. Not an armada. Just one ship. Floating silently in high orbit. At first, the Karzul dismissed it. Perhaps a derelict, a remnant from long before the world was lost. But scans showed it was active. Powered. Its weapons hot and humming. Designation, HSS Vengeance. Its hull was dark. Old Earth tech. Reinforced with ablative plating and edged with radiation shielding that hadn't been used in warships for over 100 years. It had no fleet insignia. No diplomatic beacon. Just a single automated message on loop. Engage and you will be annihilated. The Karzul command carrier broadcast their standard ultimatum. The usual psychotronic pulse was readied. They expected the same result as always: system paralysis, emotional collapse, then submission. But something went wrong. The pulse hit the ship and bounced. The Vengeance didn't flinch. It responded instantly, a single shot, silent and swift, that pierced the Karzul cruiser from bow to stern. The ship split in two and exploded in a flash of molten plasma. Panic followed. Not from the humans, from the Karzul. The rest of the fleet engaged, but they were slow, predictable. The Vengeance danced through their ranks like a ghost. Its weapons were older, yes, but powerful, precise. Each strike tore a ship apart with terrifying efficiency. The Karzul had never fought a real war. Not like humans did. Their commanders underestimated how much Earth had changed during its silence. What the Karzul didn't know, couldn't have known, was that the Vengeance wasn't crewed by a living human. It was human. A relic of the old Earth-Mind integration program, the ship was piloted by a full AI consciousness modeled after a decorated admiral, Ava Riker, who had died in the Orion Wars decades ago. Her personality had been uploaded into the warship, fused with its systems in a last-ditch experiment. And when Earth collapsed into political silence after those wars, the Vengeance was forgotten. Until now. Target locked. Retaliation protocol engaged, the ship intoned in a chilling, calm voice as it tore through a destroyer formation. For every world you took, I will take 1,000 of your lives. The Karzul tried to retreat. It was the first retreat order ever issued by a Dominion fleet. But the Vengeance didn't let them go. It chased them across the star system, warping in and out of stealth mode, appearing behind ships and blasting them point blank. The final battle above Seraphis V lasted just 17 minutes. Only one ship remained. A small Karzul corvette, damaged and limping away, sent out a subspace distress signal across the galaxy. A cry for help. A warning. Before it jumped, the Vengeance let it go. Not out of mercy, but by design. Let them remember. Let them fear. 2 days later, Karzul's Central Command, Galactic Core. The high mind of the Karzul listened as reports flooded in. We lost the entire fleet at Seraphis V, 46 capital ships destroyed. Only one survivor, a scout corvette. The crew is catatonic. All attempts to debrief them failed. We believe the human warship operates autonomously. No organic crew. It is unlike any AI we've encountered. Aggressive. Adaptive. Terrifyingly efficient. The high mind twitched its facial tendrils. Humanity was dormant, it hissed. Apparently, one of its advisors said slowly, "Not anymore." A single image beamed across the galaxy from the ship's final broadcast before it disappeared again. It was the Earth insignia, ancient, scorched, cracked. Beneath it were 3 words in Terran Standard. "We remember everything." Weeks later, across the galaxy, the legend of the human warship spread like wildfire. The Karzul tried to hide it, suppress it. But every empire, every slave world, every subjugated race heard the story. They whispered its name, vengeance. A ship without fear. A ghost with fire in its bones. And with it, something returned to the galaxy. Something no one had seen in generations. Hope. Across dozens of worlds, small uprisings began. Resistance cells formed. Civilians sabotaged Karzul installations. Refugees painted the Earth symbol on walls and windows, whispering, "The last bastion stands. Humanity is not gone." They sent one ship, and it was enough. In the age of the eternal fold, resistance was a myth. The fold swept across the galaxy like entropy, slow, patient, inevitable. Their fleets advanced not through war, but through erasure. Cultures vanished. Histories were deleted. Languages scrubbed. Worlds were folded neatly into the archive of dominion. No one fought back. No one remembered how. Until one day, in the quiet shadow of a red dwarf star, a fold fleet came upon a system marked as non-reactive. Uninhabited. Silent. Easy. They deployed the standard harvesting drones to strip the planet's remaining resources. No life. No energy readings. No orbital defenses. Then the anomaly appeared. A ship. It arrived without warning, no warp signature, no subspace ripple. One moment the system was empty, the next, it wasn't. The object drifted slowly into orbit of the planet. Its shape was foreign, angular, armored, nothing like the sleek biotech designs of the fold. Its hull was scorched black, marked with strange glyphs, some faded, some etched like scars. The fold fleet transmitted identification demands. No response. It was old. Possibly derelict. Until it moved. A pulse of energy, primitive by their standards, but strong. The ship turned to face the fold fleet and released a single wide beam signal in ancient, barely readable code. "You should not be here." The fold commander laughed. The fleet fired. The first volley never reached its target. The ship disappeared, not cloaked, not warped, just gone. Then it reappeared behind the command vessel and fired one shot. The command ship disintegrated. Panic spread through the fold fleet. They scrambled fighters, unleashed dark matter mines, activated every known countermeasure, and none of it mattered. The old warship, which now identified itself as Sentinel-12, moved like a ghost, impossibly fast, as if it knew what they would do before they did it. It tore through the fleet, disabling ships with surgical precision, destroying others with terrifying calm. No life signs detected aboard. No communication beyond that first message. Only one thing was clear. It was human. A word the fold hadn't heard in centuries. Fold Central Archives, Core World Vexus. Impossible, the archivist hissed. But the data didn't lie. The returning drone had captured clear visual confirmation of the warship's hull, the faded emblem of Earth, a blue and white sphere encircled by a wreath of broken stars. Humanity was purged from the records. They never joined the fold. They vanished. Another figure spoke from the shadows. Older, wrapped in the robes of forbidden history. They didn't vanish, the historian whispered. They went silent. Why? To watch. To wait. To make the galaxy forget. The archivist turned, unsettled. You're saying this was planned? I'm saying, the historian replied, this was inevitable. Unknown system, deep space. Aboard Sentinel-12, time passed differently. It had slept for 187 years in a hidden hangar buried beneath the crust of a lifeless moon. It had been waiting for the fold to come close enough. Its pilot was not alive. She had once been Commander Ilara Miles, Earth's last fleet captain before the collapse. Before Earth disconnected from the galactic web and disappeared into myth. Her mind had been uploaded into the Sentinel's core during the final days of the war. A backup. A failsafe. She didn't remember everything. But she remembered enough. When the Fold fleet entered range, the Sentinel woke. And Ilara opened her eyes. Threat confirmed, she said aloud to no one. Engaging. Across the stars. The battle sent ripples through the Fold's neural web. A fracture in the pattern. It wasn't just a defeat, it was a rupture in control. The Fold's great illusion that resistance was futile, that no one could challenge them, shattered. Worlds that had submitted without a word now looked to the stars and whispered. Earth lives? The humans returned? Did they ever leave? In the slums of Voltaran, rebels painted the Earth symbol on broken walls. In the skies above Kalzeth, Fold patrols were ambushed by cloaked ships bearing old Earth signal codes. In ancient databanks long thought inert, encrypted messages blinked to life. We are awake. Phase 1 complete. The Fold ends now. Fold response, the cleansing order. The eternal Fold panicked. They launched a galaxy-wide directive, every record of Earth, every trace, every rumor to be erased. Again. But this time, it was too late. The Sentinel had already moved on, system to system, not to destroy, but to remind. To warn. It would appear above Fold-controlled worlds, disable orbital weapons, and project a single message in massive glowing text visible from the surface. Earth remembers. You are not forgotten. Stand. Then it would vanish. Some systems fell into chaos. Others rebelled overnight. Entire Fold fleets were abandoned as conscripts turned against their masters. Sentinel-12, final transmission. In a secure transmission sent through an encrypted human-only channel, the Sentinel broadcast to coordinates only a few ancient AI would understand. Seedling project activated. Stage 2 inbound. Awaken the others. Somewhere far from the Fold, in a shattered ring world orbiting a black star, other Sentinels stirred. Each housed the mind of a fallen commander. Each bore the last fragments of Earth's war doctrine. Each was waiting. Years later, as the Fold collapsed from within, a myth spread across liberated systems. That humanity never died. That they had hidden in the dark corners of the galaxy, watching, waiting for the galaxy to forget how to fight and then returning to remind it. Not as conquerors, but as echoes. Weapons built from memory. Ships forged from pain. Machines with the souls of warriors long dead, whispering across the stars. We were never gone. You just stopped looking. We remember. The Vrax Empire had never known defeat. For over 80 years, their techno-organic fleets consumed system after system, transforming lush planets into efficient machines of industry. Entire species surrendered without resistance. Empires collapsed before the first shot was ever fired. Why fight when you couldn't win? The Vrax brought assimilation. Total control. Perfect efficiency. They had become the law of the stars. So, when the scout drones returned from Relay 9, the last hyperspace junction before the human dead zone, their message was brief. No fleet. No defense grid. One ship in orbit. The fleet commander, Overseer Gavax, laughed. One ship? Against the full force of a Vrax spearhead formation? An insult. He ordered full deployment. Orbit of Relay 9. The lone ship drifted silently above the blue-gray world below, positioned directly above the orbital junction, the only route deeper into ancient human space. Its hull bore old scars, not from neglect, but from war. Designation, Aegis 1. It had no visible escort. No transponder. No cruise signals. But it was alive. The Vrax flagship approached cautiously. Their command AI sent the standard ultimatum in multiple languages. Vacate orbit. Surrender vessel. Submit to integration. No response. The fleet moved closer. Suddenly, Aegis 1 powered up. Its outer plating shifted like muscle tightening under skin, and the ship's frame glowed faintly with pale blue energy. One human voice echoed through the vacuum, transmitted across every frequency. You are trespassing on Terran soil. This is your only warning. Laughter rippled through the Vrax formation. Then they fired. The first strike. The Vrax opened with overwhelming force ion torpedoes, entropy lances, and quantum disruptors all aimed at a single target. The Aegis didn't move. It didn't even shield itself. Instead, a flicker. A momentary phase shift, and every energy weapon passed through the warship like it was a shadow. Before the Vrax could recalculate, Aegis 1 responded. It launched one kinetic round, a dense rod of tungsten alloy, fired at relativistic speed, and tore the lead destroyer in half. The second shot crippled a carrier. The third wasn't a shot at all. The Aegis released a pulse-wave electromagnetic and neural that shut down the Vrax's semi-sentient fighters instantly, sending them spinning into each other like blind insects. Panic spread through the Vrax fleet. This wasn't supposed to happen. No enemy in decades had even posed a challenge. And now, this single human ship was carving them up like children. Worse, it was adapting. The human edge. What the Vrax couldn't understand was this: the Aegis wasn't just a ship. It was a war platform, a mobile battlefield forged in the last days of the Terran ascendancy, when humanity fought wars not just to survive, but to win decisively. At its core was a single pilot, Commander Juno Ron. Human. Alive. And enhanced far beyond baseline. Connected directly to the ship via neuroweave and spinal uplinks, Juno didn't command the ship, she was the ship. The Aegis was her body now. Her will. The Vrax had spent generations fighting enemies who followed patterns. Juno had no patterns. She fought like a human. Unpredictable. Creative. Merciless. The breaking point. The battle raged for 21 minutes. 37 Vrax warships destroyed. 12 disabled. The rest turned to flee. But Juno wasn't done. No retreat, she whispered. Aegis 1 activated its gravitic snare, catching the escaping ships in mid-jump and pulling them back into real space. It was a tactic considered suicidal by most species. But humans weren't most species. Juno launched hunter drones from the Aegis's undercarriage, sleek, blade-like devices programmed to seek out and gut engine cores. They moved too fast, too low for Vrax defense algorithms to respond. One by one, the rest of the fleet went silent. Then, nothing. The system returned to calm. Relay 9 was secure. Aftermath: Vrax Command Council. Reports arrived piecemeal. Corrupted, delayed. At first, Vrax High Command assumed a mistake. One ship? Impossible. But the damage reports were real. Overseer Gavex, killed in action. Fleet 47, destroyed. System 9 Delta, lost to human resistance. The word resistance hadn't been used in Vrax protocol in over 4 decades. A final data burst from Gavex's ship, recorded moments before destruction, played for the Council. They only sent one. We didn't stand a chance. One ship. One human. Reignition. Across the galaxy, the message spread. Not through official channels, but through rumor, intercepted signals, whispers in the dark. The humans were back. Not as diplomats. Not as colonists. But as soldiers. The idea moved faster than ships. On worlds where the Vrax grip had once seemed eternal, people began to fight back. Not with fleets, but with sabotage, defiance, unrest. They painted the human crest on the walls of occupied cities. They said it like a prayer: the line has been drawn. And always, when a new rebellion started, the Aegis appeared only once, but always enough. Just to remind the galaxy. Humanity still stood. Commander Juno Ron, final log, encrypted. This is Commander Juno Ron, designation Aegis 1. Relay 9 secure. Vrax forward fleet eliminated. Terran protocol remains active. No official contact with Sol Command since the fall. No matter. I draw the line here. They will not pass. Far beyond the stars, hidden deep in the gravity well of a dead star, Earth stirred. The Terran DeepNet AI, dormant for 80 years, blinked to life. Incoming data confirmed activation of Aegis 1. Other signals followed. Sentinel-class warships pinged from dark space. Long-range hibernation fleets reconnected. And then, finally, a voice. Welcome back, Commander Ron. Ready for Phase 2?